Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with another Hearthstone arena. This time it's time for another Hunter. Kicking off, as is the usual case, with a rare. Let's just go ahead and take the best one here, which is the Azure Drake, even though spell damage isn't that great for Hunters. Here we have to make a tough call between Freezing Trap, which can be really amazing, or the Grizzly. I'm going to take the Grizzly because it's a pretty good beast. I think it's underrated, and it's got some taunt, which I've been losing games recently for not having enough of. Wow. Well, we're getting lots of quality here. Got to make some choices. Oh, boy. These are both really good drops. I'm going to take the Freezing Trap, though. It is nice in case I end up being light on removal to have that thing. Okay. I'm not desperate for endgame yet, so I'm not going to take the War Golem. It's only a card I will take if I'm desperate. This is a solid 4-drop, but I'm going to take the Argent Squire. I might as well go for a little bit more of an aggressive bent, and I do like that on turn 1 a lot. Man, the quality continues. I have a feeling I'm going to get nothing but crap soon here, so this is kind of difficult in its own right, you know, making these decisions when all the cards you're presented with are really good. Ah, boy. Well, I'm going to take, I mean, it's tricky. The Wolf Rider and Deadly Shot is actually a very interesting comparison I haven't made before. They're both 3 mana. The Wolf Rider is targeted damage. The Deadly Shot, however, can deal a lot more damage, but it's untargeted. Oh, boy, it's tough. Let's take Deadly Shot. I really want to make sure I have at least a couple of those. Okay, here we can take the card drawer or the Divine Shield. You know, the Silver Moon Guardian, I gotta say, I'm not actually that thrilled with that card. I feel like the 4 mana, by the time you play 4 mana, the 3 power is a lot less impressive when protected by a Divine Shield. The Scarlet Crusader, I think, is a much better 3-drop than this is as a 4-drop. So I'm going to take the Gnomish Inventor here for some card draw. It's Gnomish Inventor and the Azure Drake. Got several card drawers already. And here we'll take either the Stormwind Knight or the Bluegill Warrior. They both deal 2 damage. It's just a question of is the extra 3 hit points, excuse me, is the extra 4 hit points worth 2 mana? The Bluegill Warrior does drop earlier. I don't have 2 drops at the moment, so I think while the Stormwind Knight's a better overall card, I'll take the Bluegill Warrior for curve reasons. Okay, I really don't like the Murloc Tidehunter. Really don't like it. I don't like this either, so I'll take the Darkscale Healer here, get some more beef into the deck. Okay, here I'm going to make a tough choice. I'm going to take the Starving Buzzard. Now, right now, the Starving Buzzard blows. It only works with the bear, but I'm hoping to pick up Unleash the Hounds in the last 2/3 of the draft somewhere. Okay, not a big fan of this pack at all. I'll take the Arcane Golem. It's a good finisher. Oh geez, well the only playable card here is Mind Control Tech, so let's just take it without further ado. And really the only playable card here is Questing Adventure. I'm not happy I'm picking up all these 3-drops, but what are you going to do? Ancient Mage is just so bad. I really just can't take how bad it is. This could be a 1-mana cycle, which, and sometimes it'll kill a secret or stop a stealth minion. I don't really feel like I've ever done that. It's just always a 1-mana cycle for me, which is fine. Or we could take Misdirection. Misdirection is good if the deck is slow. It gets pretty bad if the deck is faster. We'll take the Misdirection here. Let's try it out. Okay, well, we have our premier 3-drops here. Haven't had to choose between a Crusader and a Golem in a while. So I'll take the Golem. It's a little bit more durable and overall, I think. Okay, having enough 3-drops, I cannot take the Acolyte. This is a terrible card, so I'll take the Bluegill Warrior. And I still don't need 3-drops, Jesus. This is a good one, but, well, let's take a look. Actually, what do I really have? I have 4 of them. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, well, let's go for an aggressive bent. We'll take the Leper Gnome. And Snipe is terrible, so I'll take another Golem. I really hate this 3-spike. It's just so bad. Okay, we'll take a Cult Master here. Oh god, so many 3-drops. Well, let's take the Tracking. And, okay, Sea Giant's great. I do need some endgame, and this is a very good card. Okay, I don't want to take this Timberwolf, because if I don't get a Unleash the Hounds in the last 10 cards, the Timberwolf's pretty abysmal. Lord of the Arena has been Wrecking Ball freaking amazing, both for me and against me lately, but I need some more removal here. All I have is Deadly Shot, really. So we're going to go ahead and grab Multi-Shot. Still no Unleash the Hounds. Dark Iron Dwarf for the Abusive Sergeants. I can tint more aggro or tint more, you know, mid-gamey with this pick. The battle cries obviously being identical. Let's go for the beefier body. Alright, let's take a Tundra Rhino. And I don't want this. I don't want a second Tracking. I guess we'll take the Owl. I don't know. That's pretty weak. Okay, don't need any more 3-drops. We'll grab the Arcane Shot for some early removal. There's Unleash the Hounds. Oh, man. Closing hour here. Finally pick one of those up. Do I take an Arcane Shot or a Loot Hoarder? They both kind of deal the same amount of damage, but the Loot Hoarder can draw a card when it dies. Let's see, how many 2-drops do I really have? I mean, this is not really, not really, not really. Yes, yes, not really, not really. So I actually don't have any 2-drops in this deck except for 2 Bluegill Warriors. That's why I'm going to take a Loot Hoarder there. Ah, this is a good beast. Another 2-drop. Excellent. Animal Companion, fantastic. Even though it is a 3-drop. And we're going to get another Azure Drake. Well, I'm not a big fan of this draft. It's not really low curved enough to be aggro. Even though it has some charged creatures, it doesn't really have great burn potential. It doesn't have any kill commands. And not that many charged creatures. And it has 1 Unleash the Hounds, 1 Buzzard, and pretty much no endgame other than Sea Giant. My 5 drops are Azure Drakes and Charging Rhino, neither of which is particularly big. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of how this draft turned out, to be totally honest. Luckily, I am second here, so that's good for me with all my 3 drops. I pretty much always want to be second. And, okay, the parade of 3 drops continues. One question here, of course, is do you play tracking on turn 1? The problem is if you play it on turn 1, you might end up throwing away cards that you want later, while keeping something that won't be good for a really long time. Furthermore, you might not know what the best card is. You're using your mana efficiently because you're using your turn 1 mana crystal that would otherwise just be lost. But I feel like it's worth it to hang on to tracking for later so that, you know, in the end game you kind of know what it is that you want. So I'm not going to play tracking here. I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn. We'll coin into, well, it depends on if he has a 2-drop or not. Animal Companion on an empty board is better, I think, because then, you know, there's really no way it can be bad. You're just getting a 4-mana minion for 3 mana. So it's like getting a 4-mana minion on turn 2, which is pretty stellar. So yeah, he's got a slow start, so we will just Animal Companion. And then on turn 3 is when we'll play the Ironford Grizzly, Faux Shizzly. Okay, Deadly Shot is a good card to have against Druids. You flipped a Leok, which is the worst one here. Because I don't have any other minions, obviously, to get buffed. And it doesn't charge to deal damage to him, nor does it have 4 extra power that the bear would have. So yeah, that was the worst flip, but I mean, it's fine. It's still a good minion. Turn 4 might be tracking plus Mind Control tech. Or tracking plus Deadly Shot, depending. Yeah, it's awkward. A good 3-drop here would be kind of annoying to deal with. I'd have to drop the bear down and just hope the taunt works. In a way, this is better than the pig. While the pig could have dealt 4 damage to him right away, it's possible that the pig would have died. Something like a Wrath would have killed the pig, where it's actually not going to kill the Leok until the next turn. It's going to play Power of the Wild for a Panther. Wow. Well, that's interesting, because of course I can kill that Panther and live to tell about it. And I will do that. Let's go ahead and do this, and kill that Panther. Now, he can catch up card-wise by playing Swipe, but the thing is, then he'll only be catching up, he won't actually be ahead. And I don't mind if he uses a Swipe here, because it's almost always worse for Swipe to happen later in the game. Note that I did not want to leave that Panther alive, because the Panther could actually kill this bear. He's got a Wrath, which I'm pretty happy to see, although this does give him card advantage. It's really just catching up for my killing of this Panther. And he's got Fairy Dragon here, so he is going to get to, well, he's threatening to kill the bear off. I could play Questing Adventure and Tracking to start that party, or I can use the Bluegill Warrior to kill this. Yeah, I'm going to use the Bluegill Warrior to kill that Fairy Dragon. This lets me get a steady shot in and keep board control. I really like the idea of keeping board control. I mean, I could have played the Questing Adventure and thrown the Fairy Dragon away, but then this tracking would have been really dumb. I would have had this 3/3 Adventure instead of a 3/3 Bear. Yeah, I don't know. Seemed like this is a decent choice. Now, an issue is if he plays a really big 5-drop, let's say a Druid of the Claw, I'll need to Deadly Shot, and that will leave me without anything to do other than Steady Shot, or I could, again, use Tracking. So, hopefully what he plays is not that severe. Although, obviously, Yeti, Senjin, they would all merit Deadly Shots. That definitely merits a Deadly Shot. Now, what I could do is I could play Questing Adventure and Tracking, and then hope that the bear thwarts the Ventricle Mercenary and start to grow my Questing Adventure, but that seems really silly. Let's just keep it simple, keep it safe. We'll hit him, and we're going to Steady Shot. So I'm not using Tracking here, I just don't really see the point of it right now. It would be a 1-mana cycle, but I'd be throwing cards away that I might want to use later. Let's imagine I track and get, like, Buzzard, Hounds, and something else. Now I know I'm not getting that combo. It's it'd be kind of frustrating. Much better is to say, like, draw into the buzzard, and then now I know that I'm tracking and I'm hoping to get some hounds. Alright, well, he's got the Boulder Fist Ogre, which is unfortunate to say the least. Could, of course, do this, but I think it's better to get 2 minions down rather than 1. So give me a questing adventure, and let's see if my opponent has removal for this bear. He really wants to, so that the ogre can kill the questing adventure before that gets out of hand. Yeah, the ogre could just win him the game here. I mean, that's the problem with my deck, is I don't have endgame. Unless I get my sea giant, I'm in pretty deep doo-doo. I only have the 1 deadly shot. It's a good thing I took deadly shot and not Wolf Rider. That would have been bad. Don't see the odds of being very high of multi-shot working. He does have removal for the... he chose to do it that way. Whatever, it's equivalent. He pretty much did the same thing. He could have swiped the bear and killed the questing, or swiped the questing and killed the bear. It's the same. This could have been a Scarlet Crusader. Then it would have had its Divine Shield popped off right now, and he could have shapeshifted and killed it. So I guess it's actually better that I had the questing, or the golem, rather than the Scarlet Crusader. He's going to put Mark of Nature on that ogre, which is very frustrating, because after I silence it, it's actually going to go down to 7 health, which is really irritating. So that heals it up, even if I silence the actual effect. Well, let's do this first, before I do anything. And we can actually play Misdirection. The problem with Misdirection here is it could hit one of my minions rather than hitting his face. But, I mean, it has a chance to hit his face, I guess. I'm going to steady shot here. He's getting pretty low on health. He's got to be a little bit careful. I'm not going to run into that ogre with my golem. I might use the Arcane Golem to finish this off if it kills my Drake. Which he probably will. Oh my gosh. Is he going to heal up or draw 2 cards? He's actually going for the cards. He's feeling confident here in his ability to finish me off. He's actually going to hit me in the face. Wow. I guess I should have cast Misdirection. He's suddenly just going for broke here, which I don't think is correct. So what we're going to do here is think. He's got 6 plus 5 is 11 damage down to 11 health. I should be alright. I think what I want to do is silence this and go for his face, right? See, that would mean 2 mana plus 3, or is 5. That leaves me with 3 mana, so I can still either track and steady shot or track and Misdirection. Well, let's start with tracking. See what I get. Alright, Unleash the Hounds I think is what I want. That'll help me finish off my opponent. Let's silence off this ogre. Notice how it drops to 7 health. Now we can play the Arcane Golem. Swing, 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 and think. I could steady shot for more damage, or I could misdirect to protect myself. So the question is really, if I let him hit me for 11, what are the odds he's got 11 damage back there? Really difficult for a druid to deal 11 damage. I mean, Savage Roar is what would kind of let him make that happen. I think I'm actually better off steady shotting here. 2 damage is a really big deal right here. So I'm gambling that my opponent doesn't have 11 damage, is basically what's happening here. If he does, I'm in a little bit of trouble, because what I could do is I could throw away all my minions against his stuff and then play Misdirection, but the problem is this Golem punk comes back, so there's always a chance that Misdirection will cause him to attack my Golem. Or I guess he could always attack one of his own minions as well.
I wonder.
But Misdirection could be the killing blow here. Every Savage Roar deals 6 damage. So if he has 2 of them, he does win the game. It's not impossible for him to have 2 Savage Roars, because he had a pretty slow start. I mean, this guy didn't really do anything except play big minions, you know, from like turn 5 onwards. He shapeshifted on turn 2, he played Power of the Wild on turn 3 to die to Leok, then he Wrathed, and then he swiped, and then that bought him enough time. Well, I'm happy to see that, so at least I'm not dying. Gonna nourish. What is he doing? Oh, for 2 crystals? Well, that made no sense at all. That made absolutely no sense. Nourish for 2 crystals there made no sense. He should have just played Power of the Wild. And then he could have also shapeshifted. Especially because with this Arcane Golem, he was going to be at maximum crystals anyway. So yeah, that was a bit weird. Okay, so that should be the game, right? Right? And we're just going to play Unleash the Hounds. And then, that'll do it, pig. That'll do. I think I butchered that quote. Anyway, that'll do it, pig? What the heck? Anyway, Zudo the Druid goes down. A little bit of a newbie just at the end with that Nourish play, but for the... Whoa, dropped a pencil. For the rest of the game, he seemed to play fine. Alright, well, that's cool. Starting off with a win. A bit of a tough one against Zudo, the newish Druid, but it worked out fine. I mean, basically, he went for the end game, and that was a good demonstration of the fact that if you have nothing but end game cards, you're not going to win if your opponent has a fast start and you aren't able to keep board control. Up against a Hunter here. KHZ Kilohertz the Hunter. So the question is, do you keep the Starving Buzzard here? I mean, it's great if you draw Unleash the Hounds later, but it's not great right now, so I'm actually going to mulligan it. Unleash the Hounds is fine on its own. I mean, it gave me the kill there. I guess I probably had the kill without... Yeah, I had the kill without Unleash the Hounds. I didn't need it, but it secured the kill, shall we say. Gave me some insurance. This is actually a pretty nice start. So the Bluegill Warrior can be played on turn 2 against a Hunter. He mulligans 3 cards, keeps the leftmost one, so we'll find out what that is. I mean, just being a Hunter, I'm guessing if there's a card that he kept, it was probably Unleash the Hounds. But I'll keep an eye, because if he plays an early drop and it is that left card, then I'm going to change my mind. But right now I'm assuming he has Unleash the Hounds. We're going to go ahead and Bluegill Warrior it up. I could, of course, have Steady Shot it to deal the same amount of damage, but... I mean, this puts a 2-1 on the board, which could be relevant. It could kill something. Especially if I flip a Leok, that would help. Alright, he's flicking the... Oh my god, it was an Elven Archer. He actually kept a motherfucking Elven Archer, and yeah, that let him get the kill there. Wow. So he starts off with some card advantage. Of course, I'm threatening to get the card advantage right back by killing this Elven Archer. That's why Elven Archer is a bad card, folks, because it just dies to everything. So even if you get the ideal scenario and it kills something for you, it's still not actually that good. Okay, so we have a 4/4 taunt. My opponent does still have the coin, though. So he could actually play Ascension or a Yeti here. And me without my Deadly Shot. He's actually going to use the coin. I don't like that at all. Oh, that's okay. So that lives to tell about it, but he's actually going to throw the Elven Archer away. Well, I think that's a mistake. I don't think that makes any sense. We're going to play Arcane Golem here. That would let me kill the Warden. Giving him an extra mana crystal seems kind of silly. I could play the Owl to silence this and just ignore it, and then the Bear would protect the Owl. Could play the Buzzard and the Owl and draw a card. Silence it. Yeah, okay, that seems fine. Use the Buzzard while it's there, use the Owl while it's good. Okay, so we're going to ignore this. It's stupid 1/7 now. Going to hit him for 4 damage. And well, the race is on. So if he has Buzzard Hounds, that would draw him 3 cards, but this Bear would eat up all the Hounds. So I'd be okay with it. I'd prefer not to see that, but wouldn't be the end of the world. He's got a Dark Iron Dwarf, which is actually really good for him, unfortunately. Kills a minion, so it stops me from playing Sea Giant by 1 mana. Multi-shot. Oh, gosh, it doesn't quite kill this Dark Iron Dwarf. And that would be my whole turn if I did it. I could play the Drake, but then my stuff is going to start dying. That's annoying. I could play the Arcane Golem, which would let me kill the Dark Iron Dwarf, but, well, I could play the Arcane Golem, and then I could just go for his face. That's another option. That'd be 4, 8, 10 damage. He'd be at 14 health. All right, we're going for the throat here, folks. We are going for the throat. When you're behind, take risks. So now he is 7 steady shots away from dying. I've also got 2 points of damage here, 3 damage with the Azure Drake. If he has good turns, though, of course, he can easily win this game, but I feel like I just fell so far behind there that it was worth taking a risk. Dark Iron Dwarf is not what I was hoping to see there. I mean, I really kind of stepped out on a limb with this Buzzard Owl play, for sure, so yeah, probably I'm just paying for my own negligence. He's actually going to kill the Arcane Golem. That's extremely conservative. He could have used the Dwarf to kill off one of these minions. He's actually going to play the KODO, so he gets a board clear on this turn. Stops me from playing Sea Giant, quite tragically. Man, that Warden has really done a lot of work. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of playing this, I'm actually going to play the Gnomish Inventor to draw a card. The reason for that is, quite simply, that it lets me get another steady shot in, and I'm going to need all the damage I can get if I want to win this game. I'm at 30, he's at 12, he's only got 4 power on the board. So I could just win by burning him out. The problem is I don't have that much burn potential left in my deck. I've got a Bluegill Warrior. I think I have one more Arcane Shot. Or did I pass the other Arcane Shot? I can't remember. Crap. Well, I don't remember, but I might just be able to win by attrition. Right now, the spell damage doesn't actually matter for Arcane Shot. Well, does it matter? No, it makes no difference. I would still need the same amount of steady shots to kill him. And it's doubtful anything I will stick on the board. He's actually going to play Spellbreaker, so he's got a bad hand. He's just desperate to get minions on the field. And this is actually perfect because Multi-Shot will now clear his board. Well, this is interesting. So the question is, do I Steady Shot or do I play Questing Adventurer? I mean, definitely I'm going to play Multi-Shot. I could do this, Multi-Shot. Yeah, let's actually... Oh, gosh, if I do this, though, I'm not Steady Shotting. And I feel like that could really undo me. Jeez. Because how easily could he kill a 3/3? Yeah, okay. We're gonna go ahead and play Questing Adventure and Multi-Shot. This could be my undoing because it stops me. It gives him an extra turn to live, basically. But I feel like it was worth it to get this creature, so he has to spend some resources killing this thing rather than hitting my face. Because obviously I wasn't gonna be able to just have 5 turns to kill him. Okay, well that just happened. So I got a 50-50 chance of keeping this Questing Adventure. And I do keep the Questing Adventure, which is good. The issue is, of course, that I am getting Ragnarost here. Okay, I could play Sea Giant. Swing for 4. I think what I'd rather do, though, is... Yeah, let's actually play the Loot Hoarder. Play Harvest Golem. Steady Shot. Arcane Shot. And swing for 6. So now he's dead next turn to Steady Shot, and Ragnaros will not kill me. Even if Ragnaros hits me, I'm down to 12. Even if he Steady Shots, I'm down to 10. He'd have to deal 10 damage to me and then still only have a 1 in 4 chance of actually winning the game. Well, I'm glad I kept that Questing Adventure around because that was a lot of damage that I did thanks to him. It was 6 damage that I hit him with instead of a Steady Shot, which would have been 2. So I basically dealt 4 extra damage by putting this guy down. He's going to Flare to cycle, which I'm pretty happy about, so he doesn't have answers, it seems. Starving Buzzard, okay. I assume he just got that Buzzard. He got the Buzzard off the Flare. Alright, he's got to Unleash the Hounds. Okay, so that's 3 damage. He needs 7 more damage with 4 mana. That's difficult. Very, very difficult to do. Okay, this is scary. So he actually got the heal. Now if he can clear my board, then I might be in trouble because obviously Steady Shot is going to be a while killing him and he's got this board here. Good news is this Questing Adventure is a serious threat. It's a good thing I played him the previous turn because if I hadn't, I'd be in serious trouble. It's also good that this Harvest Golem is not a Scarlet Crusader because 2 Hounds would have been able to kill it off. Okay, so what he did is he set it up so that he can actually kill everything but my Questing Adventure, and then Ragnaros has a 50-50 chance of shooting this thing dead. That was a very smart play. However, the Ragnaros hit my face, so I get to kill him. And he actually left himself with only 3 minions, so Mind Control Tech doesn't work. Well, if it had hit the Questing Adventure, I could have still beaten him, but it would have been dicey. This would have cost 7 mana. I would have played this for... Oh gosh, but then he could have died to Ragnaros. I would have been in a lot of trouble. To be totally honest, if that had hit the Questing Adventure, that would have been a lot of trouble. But then again, my opponent got lucky that he got, you know, Ragnaros as a legendary. So, you know, whatever. Granted, it missed my Questing Adventure twice. Yeah, that's tough. He got lucky, though, flaring into a Buzzard. So whatever, my opponent got lucky enough. I don't feel too bad about winning that game. The moral of the story is I won. So thanks for watching. Please like and or subscribe if you enjoyed that. And I'll see you soon with the rest of the games. See you in a bit.